Welcome to the AI Beehive Podcast, Real Estate and Mortgage Pros. This is your buzz for smarter tech, faster deals, and less grind. Let's get started.
Well, hi there. Welcome to another episode of the AI Beehive Podcast. My name is Ginger Bell. I have my co-host with me, Mr. George Chevalier. George.
Hello, everybody out there.
Hey, so we are excited to have a very special guest who I've had the pleasure of knowing for several years, and that is Suha Zehl with Z Technology. So welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Yay.
Hi, Ginger. Hi, George. Very nice to have me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you.
Oh, likewise. You know, I have been watching all the posting that you're doing on social media, and I know you're doing a ton of workshops around AI. And oftentimes we have individuals on our podcast who have a particular technology or a solution, and you bring that whole mindset of not just looking at what those are, but how they all fit together. So I want to start and unpack that a little bit as far as really beginning, Suha, with your services that you provide at Z Technology and helping lenders really jump into this AI space. So what are some of the things that you're doing to help lenders get into AI?
So I like my clients have been engaging with me on a couple of paths, if you will.
Right.
One, helping them with their strategy from a leadership and technology perspective. So looking at what they currently have, looking at modernizing what they have. Because, I mean, the one thing we have to remember is a lot of technology that we have today is not AI ready. And so it's built on old infrastructure. It's built on old software, old code. And so you can't just bolt AI on it and expect it to work seamlessly. So one of the things that we do is we come in and look at what do you have? What are you trying to solve? How can we find the right tool, the right solution for your organization to make sure that you can scale and grow with it? So that's one of the areas that we build on with our clients. The other area that we do is we come in and we do workshops. AI readiness, you've got it from a technology perspective, but you also have it from the human-centric perspective. People are afraid. People don't know don't really understand what AI can do. If you ask somebody, they'll tell you, I'm doing AI. Right. But when you really peel the onion peel, it's like they're really not doing AI. So trying to educate. So a lot of it is education. A lot of it is changing the mindset, making them see that the technology, whether you want to call it AI or whatever you want to call it, it's a technology. It's there to help them be better, do better, perform better. It's not here to replace them. It's here to do the things that they don't like to do.
Right.
If you, for example, we were just talking about LOs. If you ask LOs, what's the one thing you hate to do? It's probably to do a cold call or to write an email to a customer or to tell somebody some bad news, not necessarily good news. And so you can leverage AI tools to take care of those things, but you want to stay the human center. You want to be in the middle of it so that you remain in control. It helps you with ideation, but you control the outcome of it. Right. So those are kind of the two areas that I help my clients with.
Well, and the change management part of it is another area too. And we kind of talked about that in the green room when we were preparing, and I love what you were talking about, the adoption. So even, as an organization, even though you may say, hey, I'm using AI, I'm doing some of this, having that adoption is important because people are reluctant to change. So what are you saying as far as, organizations that are having good success with that?
Okay, so let's actually take a step back first. And to give you the bad news, there was a study that came out very recently that said 95% of AI initiatives are failing. That means only 5% are successful. That's 1 in 20. For organizations, lenders who are, pouring money into this, this is a big deal. So you want to make sure that whatever initiative you take on is going to be successful. And the only way that you could do that is to have a true change management strategy in place from the beginning. You can't add the change management at the end and say, okay, now that we have this technology, this great thing, now we're going to tell you all about it. That people are not going to adopt it. They don't believe, they don't trust. The credibility is not there. You have to demonstrate those small, quick win successes so that people begin to accept and adopt. And so to answer your question, sorry, I went around it a very long way.
No,
But
it's
the
great.
question, the lenders who are seeing success, the people who are actually seeing success happen are the ones who, one, begin with change management, begin of showing. I mean, change management has a really great methodology and framework. It's called the ADKAR framework, which is awareness, knowledge, acceptance. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it because awareness, desire, knowledge, ability, and reinforcement. There's 4 pillars to change management, but it starts with awareness. And that awareness is explaining to somebody why the change is needed and what's in it for them, how it's going to help them. Once they see that, everything else falls into place. And
Right.
so, to go back, those who are seeing success and those who are seeing better adoption rates are the ones who are actually working small, working on those small wins, the quick wins, demonstrating success, and building on that and scaling.
Okay, that makes sense. So, many mortgage professionals, they hear about AI and automation and things like that, but if someone is just getting started, they may feel overwhelmed and they don't know where to begin. So can you suggest maybe 2 or 3 tech investments you would recommend that could help them deliver the biggest bang for their buck?
So if we're looking at individuals, because enterprise and organizations are very different than when you're an individual. So if you're looking at a real estate agent or an LO who is not going to be doing an enterprise level AI implementation, I would say, if you're new to this, start with the free stuff. There is so much out there that's free. You don't even have to spend a penny. On the workshop that I just did for one of my clients, we had 200 LOs. And I told them I actually had to create a new account on ChatGPT, on Claude, because I've been using it since it came out. So it knows me, it knows my style, it knows my tone. So if I was going to do the workshop with them, it wouldn't be successful because it's going to be doing it from my perspective. And it considers me somebody who's, maybe not an experienced user, but I'm not a beginner. I'm not a novice. So I actually created brand new free accounts and we did the workshop together, and you could just see their eyes light up when they started to see what they could do with just free accounts. I would say start with ChatGPT and Claude, because I always say use AI to get AI. So like do a prompt in ChatGPT, then take it into Claude and say, hey Claude, improve this prompt for me. Then take it back and run the improved prompt in ChatGPT and see the results that you get. It's really mind-blowing when you start to leverage it that way. There are tools like Veed for video, Synthesia. There's Gamma if you're doing proposals, if you're doing presentations, if you're doing market analysis, if you're Canva. I mean, there's so much free stuff out there that you just need to start dipping your toe in it, honestly.
Nice.
Yeah. And knowing when to use it too. And I think that's the thing, starting with ChatGPT. And I love how it sounds like you're doing workshops where you're walking them through and they're bringing their laptops. I did that for a group of realtors in Dallas for the Dallas Realtors Association. And we did a 3-hour workshop. And they had to bring their laptop, and we had the prompts and the same kind of thing. And so using it, I like the idea of going back and forth because they are very different. And that's the thing when you're getting into this. And I think if you look at, okay, where can I leverage AI to help me become better at something? So if you're doing social media posts or if you're doing marketing, ChatGPT is a great way to come with the ideas. You have to be careful because it definitely has a proponent of looking like something that's out of AI. So putting your own voice in it, those kind of things are important. So, but starting out with that and just, dipping your toe in, you can do it for a personal thing. Planning a trip, and I know you just came back from a long trip. We're planning a trip to London
Yeah.
in the beginning of December. And my husband, I said, let's find out what to do. And I said, okay, we're doing a 5-day, days in London. Give me 5 days of itineraries. And it gives the suggestions. If you had to do that and go onto Google, then you'd have to click on another thing and another.
Mhm.
So, start using it in some of your personal life and
Absolutely.
thinking about the areas for doing that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you hit the nail on the head there with if you just take what it comes back with and you don't actually personalize it with your own voice and tone, it is going to sound generic and robotic. And so you definitely want to, one, review what it comes back with,
Right.
and two, tweak it so that it you put it in your voice. But here's the trick that I do. I then take my draft and I put it back in the model and say, here's my draft. Because you know why? Those GPTs, they learn.
Right.
So it learns how I write. So the next time I ask it for something, it knows whether I use emojis. It knows what kind of language I use. I have like guardrails that I say, always use the guardrails I've provided before. I don't like it to use M dashes, for example. I don't like it to use, it's not this, but it's this, because that sounds so robotic, and everybody says that on their posts. But you can tell it how, it's the PAV. It's who you are, what is it that you are trying to prompt.
Right.
It's your audience, who is your audience, and it's your voice.
Yeah.
Those three pieces is how you personalize the content that you create.
Yeah.
And for somebody who's just starting in writing content, for example, you know what? You could use AI to help you put a calendar of content for a month. It takes you less than 30 minutes. We did that in the workshop that we had. It actually took like 5 minutes. You have to be very specific in your prompt. You have to be very specific on who your target audience is, what kind of content you want it to create, and it gives you a whole calendar. And now all you've done, it took you 5 minutes to plan out an entire month of content on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and it understands the different modality of these things. It can create images for you. It's so integrated and so seamless. It's easy, but you just have to start. And that's what I always tell my clients, whether it's enterprise or personal, individual, you have to start somewhere.
Right.
Don't be afraid to fail, because there's no failing in this.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So when it comes to implementing automation, maybe for tracking, lead tracking, or customer follow-up, what are the most common mistakes that you see people make, and how can they avoid them? I guess one would be letting the chatbot speak for them instead of personalizing it.
Well, so did you hear about the whole Taco Bell fiasco that's been happening, by the way?
No.
Okay. Oh my God. I posted about it. It was in my Monday Minute. So apparently Taco Bell had they have an AI strategy that they're putting out there. They want to put voice AI, because the big thing right now in the AI space is voice AI. And I think that's where we're going to see a lot of development and change happening in that space. But Taco Bell wanted to put voice AI in all of their drive-thrus to help make things efficient, fast, and reduce customer waiting time and blah blah. Unfortunately, it did not go well. But they were part of that 95% failed AI initiatives that I talked about. If you just go on YouTube and put in Taco Bell AI drive-thru fiasco, you will see so many videos. But that's the thing, when you talk about the implementation and the failures that could happen. I think the biggest thing is you have to test, and you have to test and train your people. This is still a human-centric in society. So you can't just say, I'm going to let it go on the AI and be customer facing and not have a plan B, not have trained your staff on what to do in case the AI fails and how to handle those situations.
Right.
So when you're doing those strategic planning sessions of this is what we want to do, break it down, test it along the way, but then do an end-to-end test, which I think a lot of people forget to do. They test the small incremental pieces, but they never go back and do a full incremental end-to-end testing to see what really happens and test all the different scenarios that could occur. I don't know if I answered your question, George.
Yeah.
But I just, the Taco Bell situation was really funny because they started this initiative back in November 2024, and it just like hit it went viral this August, actually, because it's just one person ordered 18,000 glasses of water.
Wow. You did answer it because, you had mentioned they're not testing from beginning to end. And as a result, they're getting failed results. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
And the other part where they fail, I mean, I always give this analogy. To me, if you think of AI like a high rise needs to have a solid foundation to stay up. If it doesn't have a solid foundation, it will not stay up. It will fall. And that foundation is your data. Data is your solid foundation to help you build a robust AI solution. Garbage in, garbage out. We've all heard that before. So that's why when you're starting to, especially from an enterprise perspective, obviously, when you're starting to dip your toes into AI, you have to look at your data strategy. Is your data siloed? How does it integrate? Do you have duplication? Is an account number, I mean, simple things like account number in one system is numeric, account number in another system is alphanumeric.
Right.
That causes issues when you're trying to teach, because remember, AI first learns, then you test, and then you go into production. And if the learning part is learning based on bad data, then the testing is going to be bad and your implementation is going to go sideways.
Right.
Makes a lot of sense.
Well, and the other thing we're seeing, because George and I have been having the opportunity to kind of vet out some technologies that are coming into the mortgage space. And one of the things that's been very enlightening, I guess maybe is a word, George, is the technologies that are coming into the space saying, obviously there's lots of needs that we have and there's lots of opportunities, but they don't know the space. And so that's one of the things that we see as, what they're taking for their input, like you say, garbage in, garbage out, is incorrect. And it's not in line with how someone in the industry would be. It's like, no, that's not the case at all. For example, using, low credit scores and, scripting. We're seeing a lot of technologies come in for handling, those phone calls. So making those sales calls that you don't want to make, those cold calls that you want to make. So we're seeing a lot of technology come in, and it's getting good. But I think the biggest thing, and this is what I always caution my clients on, is let people know it is AI. Don't try to spoof them. We're seeing a lot of technologies that are coming onto the AI Beehive directory that are fantastic for the clones, especially the video clones we're seeing. Suha, you and I have done a lot of education in our careers, so you know how much it takes to create an entire course, especially an online course. So it's like you see that, it's like, oh, that's so exciting, but it has to be good. And then you also have to let people know it is AI. So if you're looking at using a clone for doing your videos, let people know it's not you. And we had a conversation, George and I did, with the technology, and the AI is really good. And he said, he goes, the clones are getting better. I said, that's the thing. The clones are getting better at recording videos. People aren't. So if you record one video and you're saying it's you, and then you don't have time to record a video, so you use your AI clone and they say it's you, it's like people are going to see that. And so trust is so critical as you're looking into the AI, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think trust and credibility, this is where we go back into responsible AI. This is where we go back into explainability. This is where we go back into, in the mortgage lending space, from a basic level, how did you arrive at that decision? I mean, so I'm not even talking about clones and stuff, but actually doing things the right way, having the right guardrails in place, making sure that when you are using AI, that one, you are disclosing it, Because I think
Mhm.
regulation it has already started to come along where you are required. Like if you go on ChatGPT and you ask it to create an image for you, I don't know if you've noticed now it has a little emblem, a little logo at the top that says this is generated by AI. So if you try to post it, it'll actually let people know that this is not, this is actually an AI generated asset.
And we're seeing that in the social media too, where
Mhm.
they're not weighing as heavy on AI generated. Google's the same thing.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
starting to see that in YouTube. So yeah, that will start happening.
I think it will, but I think what people should also realize as they're starting to leverage AI more is that, like you said, Ginger, the opportunity is there, but the opportunity for good and the opportunity for bad is there. And knowing that fine line, when we look at clones and videos, I mean, think about from a fraud perspective.
Yeah.
What kind of issue can that create if you get a phone call that sounds like your CEO telling you to do X, Y, and Z? So you have to start weighing how you set those guardrails in place. AI is not set it and forget it. AI is not, I'm going to let it loose and I can go drink my pina colada back there on the beach. You have to be involved. It has to be top of mind all the time so that you don't fall. I mean, I think I'm trying to remember. I think it was a city in Minneapolis. The entire city in Minnesota, the entire city was hit with AI fraud that actually brought down the entire infrastructure of the city itself. So if you're a mortgage lender, can you imagine what could happen to you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, you have to be very cognizant of those push and pull, that tug of war between the good and the bad. There's so much good. There's so much that we could do with it, but we also have to be very careful and not let our guard down, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Well, we usually have like a rapid fire question little sequence here.
It's George. George is like, he's our rapid fire guy where he's like, I've got all these questions and I can't get them out of my brain.
So maybe you can help me out with this, okay? Just give me your quickest response.
Okay.
So give me one AI tool you can't live without right now. What is it and why?
Gamma. I do a lot of presentations, and Gamma is probably one of the best ones because it has it connects to a lot of stuff. So I'm able to do more with that one tool.
I'm with you on that one, girl. And that is a great one. I mean, it's like, but you used to spend hours on making PowerPoint presentations.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, the next one. What unexpected benefit of using automation that many people don't think about? What is one of the unexpected benefits of automation that people don't think about?
You can actually see trends with automation that you are not aware of before. Aside from the learning and aside from the predictive and prescriptive aspect of AI, when you automate something, you find gaps that you did not know you had. And you know why you find those gaps? Because suddenly you're sitting with the frontline people and you're seeing what they're doing compared to how they did it manually. And you find those workarounds that they used to do. You find those gaps in your process that you were not aware of before.
Nice. Okay, my last question. In one sentence, what's your best advice to someone who is teetering between doing nothing and diving into AI automation?
All right. So there was another study that Salesforce came out with about 2 weeks ago on people who use AI versus people who don't use AI and how well they do in achieving their targets. If you are not using AI, you are failing at about 19%. To only 19% of people who do not use AI are meeting and exceeding their targets. Whether you're a loan officer, a real estate agent, whatever you do. And again, I'm talking from an individual perspective, because as individuals, we can automate our workflow. You can automate and make your life a lot simpler. Whereas people who use AI on a daily basis, they achieve and exceed their targets by 68%.
Wow.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So the one thing I would tell people is You just have to start small, try one thing, and then take it to the next level, and then the next level. Don't try to do it all at once. There's so much material out there. There's so many experts out there. So you have to be careful what videos you watch. But there's so much good material out there, honestly, that it just behooves you. I can't believe I used that word. It just behooves you, because it's a beehive and it behooves.
That's right. That's right.
To actually dip your toes in. It really does. There's so much potential that you would be remiss not to dip it in. Because I know we've heard it before. It's not AI that's going to replace you. It's the person who's using AI, because they're more productive, they're better at what they do, and they can focus on the things that only humans can focus on. That's the difference that people don't talk about. It's not that AI is replacing you. AI is taking off your plate the things that you should not be working on. You should focus on the relationship building. You should focus on the things that only you as a human can do, that the AI cannot.
Good point. Good point. I've got to tell you, your work at Z Technology Solutions is exactly really what our audience needs.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So you're with amazing. That, before we close out, how can someone get a hold of you?
The easiest thing is to actually email me. My email is my first name, Suha, at ztechnologysolutions.com. I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. Those are really the two easiest way to get a hold of me. And, I'll be happy to share my contact info once we post this so that people can actually reach out as well.
Absolutely. And you can also find Suha and Z Technology Solutions on the AI Beehive, where you can find a lot of other solutions. And if you're listening to this, the AI Beehive is now available as an app on your iPhone and your Android, which is really cool, Suha. So as you're doing workshops, make sure and share the AI Beehive. It's free to go. They can set up a free account. They can actually like the technologies in there that they want to come back to. They can create a library of technologies.
Oh, that's awesome.
So and they can do that on their desktop. Also, it's just great on your phone. So it's like, if you're looking for something that can help you writing blog posts or doing a website or, Gamma, making a presentation, all those things, they can go on there on their phone, save it and say, oh, I want to use that. I'm going to come back to it. What was that one again? Now they can have it all in there. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome. That's a great tool to give your audience. That's fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you so much, my friend. It is always good to see you. I love everything you're doing. George, great rapid fire questions.
Thank you.
I hope I did okay.
You did excellent.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for having me. I appreciate you both.
Thank you. And of course, make sure and follow us on the AI Beehive podcast and go to our AI Beehive directory at aibeehive.com. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the AI Beehive podcast, where real estate and mortgage pros get the buzz on all things AI. Don't forget to subscribe, share the buzz, and visit www.aibeehive.com to keep building your smarter business. Until next time.